Good afternoon and welcome to the Boring Millionaire podcast. Today is Wednesday, August 6th, and in this episode, I'm going to discuss the 5 stocks that I'm buying this week, why I'm buying them, and how you could buy them with any budget. So the first stock I'm picking this week is IBM, and IBM is International Business Machines. So they make self-checkouts, ATMs, things of that nature. And a couple weeks ago, they performed poorly after earnings. The stock did fall from basically 300 to a 250 range. And at that 250 range, we're sitting at the 1-year average. So as I always like to say, I love seeing stocks at their 1-year average. IBM is a company that molds the world that we live in. And for that reason, I want to be involved in that company. And they also pay a 2.67% dividend. So what a dividend is, it's money that companies pay you just for holding the shares. So every 3 months, IBM will pay you a little bit of money just for ownership of the shares. So not only are you making money when these assets appreciate, but you're also making money from the background income from these companies paying you. So IBM is one that I'm certainly grabbing up this week. And the second one I'm grabbing this week is Amazon. So again, Amazon is something we should all be familiar with. And with that, it's a company that molds the world and the way we live in our day-to-day lives. So that's enough of a reason, again, for me to be involved in the company. I love investing and holding stocks for the long term when they are companies like Amazon, which shapes the world that we live in. So I'm buying Amazon. They fell from 235 to 215. In today's trading, they're around 218. But with that said, it's still a price discount from its all-time highs in a company that molds the world that we live in. It's also trading just above its 1-year average. So again, love finding that average, love when stocks are trading near those averages. And for those reasons, I'm buying Amazon this week. Now, the third stock I'm buying this week is a little bit of a sleeper pick. It's called Applied Materials. Now, what Applied Materials does is they actually make all of the supplies and materials that are used in the semiconductor space. So companies like NVDA and AMD, they go to Applied Materials to basically buy the things they need to make the chips that they make, as well as other products. It's not just the chips. But basically, Applied Materials supplies the big dogs of NVIDIA and AMD. So that way, they'll always be in business unless they get assumed by one of these companies. But then your shares would also convert to the company which buys it. So a company I want to be involved in, I like the space that they're in. They're also about 10% off their all-time highs. So in theory, if you go to any other store that you like and the things that you want are 10% off, you're already getting something that you intended to get. It's just a discount to the price. And the same way of thinking applies in the stock market. Applied Materials is 10% off its all-time highs. They also pay a 1% dividend, and they actually have earnings after the bell today. So I'm buying it ahead of that earnings report in hopes that the earnings report will send the stock price higher. And then both through the dividend and the appreciated gains, you're getting paid on two ends by owning this stock. So absolutely love Applied Materials. And then to follow right through with it, I'm also buying NVIDIA this week. Now, NVIDIA is the leader in the semiconductor space. Their GPUs are unlike any other, and they are the unquestionable leader in this space. So it's a company I certainly want to be involved in. There's a lot of excitement on Wall Street about this company. So even that alone is going to continue propelling this company higher as far as the share price. And really, any opportunity that you see in the shares to buy this stock, I would take advantage of. It's basically, for lack of better words, an unstoppable stock. Every couple of days, it seems to be moving higher, and there's really no negative news surrounding the stock, and truly no signals telling me that this stock is going to slow down anytime soon. I'm not necessarily a fan of buying stocks when they're on an upward trend in record territory. However, NVIDIA is a unique anomaly in this case. Being that NVIDIA is the unquestionable leader in this semiconductor space, and the world is just moving forward in a necessity of needing semiconductors and all these other chips and GPUs they make, I certainly want to be involved in this company. And their earnings are August 27th. So they are still on the agenda to report. I do think that earnings report is going to be fantastic. And for all of those reasons, I'm investing in NVIDIA this week. Now, the last stock I'm picking this week is Lyft. Lyft is the ride-sharing service that competes with Uber. And despite Uber seemingly to have a leading grab on the market, Lyft does perform pretty well. And right now, the stock is in a little bit of a discount, presenting an opportunity, and I want to buy it while it's at this discount. It has been trading around $16 at the start of July, and currently it's trading around $14. Now, not only is it presenting a discount in the price, it is again trading at its 1-year average as well as its 6-month average. So both averages are lining up. It's sitting right at those metrics. And being that it has an earnings report again after the bell today, I'm buying it ahead of that in anticipation that it's going to rally after the earnings come out. We've had a mostly positive earnings season, so I do think that momentum is going to continue into companies like Lyft and Applied Materials, and I want to be invested in them ahead of that pop. So how can you buy these 5 companies with any budget? The way I like to think of it is that if you took $50 every week, you could take that $50 and break it into 5 $10 increments. And then with those 5 $10 increments, you could put them into these 5 different companies. And I would like to say, yeah, you're not going to get a whole share out of putting $10 into these companies. But what you're doing is you're investing your money into your own investment portfolio, which could carry you to a better financial future. We need to invest in ourselves, to invest in our freedom so that our future is better financially. So with all these things said, you could use any budget, break it into 5 equal increments, and put those increments into the stocks that I'm pitching each week. And by doing that and staying disciplined on this investment strategy, you will certainly have a great portfolio moving into the future. So thank you for tuning in. Feel free to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Threads. And all episodes could be found on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Thank you for tuning in.